like when I'll be watching like a Disney movie or something with my wife, and like she was watching Frozen. She was like a little kid. She was watching Frozen, and the whole time I'm watching it, I'm looking at the artwork aspect of it. I'm like, the movie's okay, but the graphics and the animation is just incredible. You know what I mean? So I'm always looking at artwork. Like yesterday we went to Walmart and there was this little kid Halloween t-shirt with a hand on it coming out, like a zombie hand. And I was like, that's one of the coolest hands I've ever seen in my life.
From pencil and paper to digital tablets, we explore local artist Justin Gordon's artwork and experiences. This is Vandals.
Alright, so we got, what's up everyone? This is Vandals issue 2 interview with my man right here is Justin Gordon. Amazing artist. As you can see, his work is amazing. And we first met at, was it 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
At the Santeria.
Yeah.
Our friend, my friend was performing there, and it was an art gallery, and we happened to see Justin's work there, and my daughter loved his work, and this is the first piece that she ever bought.
Nice.
So and now we have Justin here with us, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, man.
Pleasure.
I love your artwork is amazing, and thank you for these pieces, guys. Check them out. We'll do all the social stuff later, but yeah. So tell us about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Brick, New Jersey.
Okay.
Born in 1991, and I've been drawing since I was in diapers.
Wow.
Literally.
Very cool. So when was the first time you ever picked up a pencil and started to draw?
I don't really remember, but I remember being in school and worrying more about my sketches on the side while the teacher's talking than actual homework, and I just haven't stopped.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what are the medias that you use to actually paint your work and the canvases and stuff like that?
All of these are done with this company called Posca paint pens. It's just a border-based paint pen. I love it. It just gives you such free range to be creative, and colors are just vivid. They just my favorite thing. And sometimes I'll use like I think for this one I used just for the background Liquitex water-based acrylic paint. It's what I use.
Yeah, you can really tell with the color, it just pops and everything. So very cool. So what would you do first when you would actually paint something like this? There's like 3 different steps.
Yeah, I do the sorry, cut you off.
No, go ahead. No.
I do the sketch first, usually on the iPad, or for this one I did it on the I actually sketched it on a sketchbook, which I don't usually do. I usually do the iPad because I can get the color and just better lines. But for some reason I used the sketchbook, and I sketched out all 3 of them separately, and then you prime the surface, and then you just sketch them again, and then you just get the painting. It's all none of it is like planned out. It's all just go with the flow. Like, oh, this looks like crap, I gotta redo it. Just paint over it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's just art. It's never, that's how it is. It's never planned. You just go with the flow.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So did you go to school for art?
Yes, I went to Stockton University. It was college when I was attending, and I went for baseball, and I wanted to be a what's it called? A athletic trainer, and then I took biology.
Okay.
And I was like, nope, this is not for me. And the whole time I was in class, again, I would just be drawing, and I was like, well, you know what? Like, everybody would say, you should do this for a living. You should do this for a living. Your stuff's really nice. And I was like, why don't I? And then I just switched majors to visual arts, and here we are.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So yeah, it's like Stockton. How long did you decide to change your major?
I believe it was 2011. I was there for about a year, and then think around that time, around 2011, 2012, I was like, I gotta change something. This is
Yeah.
not for me. So I went into, I actually, when I was taking biology class, I took one art class. It was a sculpture class with this professor. His name's Jed Morfitt, and his stuff is just incredible. And he kind of leaned me to the art direction because I picked it up pretty well.
Yeah.
The sculpture with like clay and everything. And then I took a painting class, and I was like, I love this stuff.
Very cool.
You know, I loved it. And all my friends. Then when I switched majors, all my friends, they were like, one was a science major, one was a, what was he, environmental science,
Mhm.
and the other one was like a business major. And they would all come home to me like painting or drawing something, and they're like, man, that's all you do. That's all you do is sit here and draw. Your major's so easy. But I was like, it's not. I'm doing just as much work as you are.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I remember one time I was doing, you know, a bust. It's like a head bust. It's like it's just a sculpture of somebody's head. And my professor had us. It was a bust of Michelangelo, and we had to recreate it as how it looked. And his head was like tilted like this, super hard. And I was doing it. And my one buddy came home and he's like, this is all you gotta do for class? I'm like, you try to make this thing. This is hard, man. Yeah. So it hasn't been an easy road, but it's been an enjoyable road.
Nice, very nice. So that comes to like where does your inspiration come from, as far as your your drawings, because your drawings are very distinct.
Yeah.
And we know that it's you. This is your signature.
Yeah.
So where does that inspiration come from?
So I was always drawn to skate art when I was a kid. Like that was the top notch for me. I would get CCS magazines, and I would just look at the skateboards and just be in awe because they're just so cool. And a lot of those artists, like World Industries, I used to always, World Industries?
I never heard.
It's a little water droplet guy and then a little fire flame. A little flame guy, and there's these two little cartoon characters, and I would constantly draw them in school. And you ever hear Blind?
Yes.
Blind. I would always draw that little skeleton guy.
Yes.
The Reaper, and I guess it just formed into my own thing. You know what I mean? Drew Brophy, he's a surfboard artist out of California.
Okay.
His work is incredible. He's actually the guy who I noticed used these Posca pens that I use, and I was like, I gotta get these.
Yeah.
And another one's probably Jimbo Phillips, another skateboard artist. His stuff's incredible. And like really just anything that is vivid and colorful, I'm just drawn to it.
Very cool. So did you ever think about like collaborating or even just getting like sending your stuff to like Thrasher magazine and stuff like that,
I'm always
that'll be a dope
Yeah.
collabo right there,
Yeah.
having your work
I
done.
would. That's one of my dreams is to work for a skateboard company, like actually have my stuff on a skateboard for anybody who skates, like Thrasher. That's a great magazine to get my stuff into. I'm just drawn to it for some reason.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Thrasher.
Thrasher.
I'm just saying, get on this guy. But yeah, I know a couple of skaters.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm probably talk to them and
Yeah,
see what they
That'd be cool.
they're down with it.
Yeah.
So and like another question that leads to your role models. You mentioned your teachers. They're the sculptor, all that stuff. The artists, surfboard artists. Who are your role models as far as you look up to as far as their artwork?
Yeah.
Which inspired you to do what you do?
Yeah. Drew Brophy,
Mm-hmm.
Jimbo Phillips, this one guy, Mike Giant. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's like a street artist, and he does just like tattoo art, and his stuff's incredible. So clean, so fresh. But yeah, those guys, they're just always doing something. You know what I mean? Like you gotta keep moving, and they're a huge inspiration to me because their stuff is just so good. They have a huge following. That's what I aspire to be one day.
Awesome, man. And you know what? Just by the look of it, man, you're not too far ahead.
Thank you.
You are there. You ever? I'm gonna throw the guy Cause. You ever heard of Cause before?
No.
He's Jersey City. He came from Jersey
Oh,
City.
wait. Yeah.
He's like an
yeah.
artist. He,
Yeah.
you know, graffiti artist and all that
He
stuff.
does the X's on the eyes.
The X's on the eyes, you know. He was
his
like,
stuff is-
yo, check him out.
He's from Jersey City?
He was from Jersey City.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he went to SVA.
No way.
School in New York, School of Visual Arts.
Wow.
Yeah, my daughter was supposed to go there, but she didn't want to. I'm like,
Why not?
I don't know.
Too far from daddy?
Nah, I didn't mind, but you know what? That place is expensive, so that's
I bet.
it was that place was money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish she did. You know, she did the whole video production in Montclair, but she, you know, 2 years of that, I'm like, nah, she didn't want to do it. I'm like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Whatever. The locations of your art. Where can we find your art?
For murals, a lot of my stuff is at this company, this restaurant called Tacoholics.
Okay.
It's out of Brick. I have one in Brick. I did one in Point Pleasant, one in Manasquan, and one in Red Bank. And it's just they're these 3 guys from Brick. They went to Brick Memorial. Shout out to Mustangs. And they started this taco stand or taco restaurant. And I played baseball with this kid, his name's Lou. And I reached out to see if they wanted some artwork and to do a mural. They liked the first one, and I just keep doing them for them. It's a great little gig. Every time they open a new one, they just reach out to me, and they give me free range, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah, and I designed this little skeleton guy who's evolved through every restaurant. He gets different and different. Like the first one, he's always got a mustache. I'm drawn to skeletons with mustaches. I love drawing it. And cactus.
You'll know. You'll see. You know what he's talking about because it definitely stands out.
Yeah. I do, and a cactus with a sombrero. So it's a Mexican restaurant, so I was like, you gotta have a cactus in there. I actually had my first mural I was in college still, and I had this class for murals, and my professor had a few locations in Atlantic City because I went to Stockton, it's close, and he was like, you guys can paint on this, but you have to do it on full-rate wood panels in class, and you have to, when you're done, you get to bring it and install it. And I was like, man, that's lame. I wanted to like actual paint it on a wall. And he was like, well, you can do that if you want. You gotta find the place. I was like, all right. So I went to what is the name of the place? 10th Ave Burrito. You ever hear of 10th Ave Burrito? It's another taco place, and I knew the girl who was the manager there in the Point Pleasant location, and I was like, can I do a mural for you guys? And she's like, yeah, but we're not gonna pay anything. I'm like, that's fine. It's for class.
Yeah.
And that was my first time doing it, and that was all spray paint. I don't usually use spray paint, but at the time I was super into like graffiti artists. So it took all semester.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the company went out of business. It still has its main location in Belmar, but its Point Pleasant location unfortunately went out of business, and they painted right over it.
Did you take pictures of that?
Yeah, I
so
did.
that's good.
Yeah. You can still see some of the mural on the windowsill.
Yeah.
They didn't paint over that little bit.
Nice.
But yeah, most of my stuff is commissioned, so it's in people's houses. Guitars, skateboards,
awesome.
Water bottles, ornaments. I do little woodcut ornaments.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's about it.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I tried doing. I have mine somewhere. I don't have it somewhere there. I tried doing. It's more of the. I tried the. I use like just Sharpie.
Okay.
And like a white marker.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I can't do nothing like that.
No?
Now I'm like,
I hear you, man.
But yeah. All right, let's move on. Oh man. So now, So let's talk about. So now. Like everything now is digital, right? So what do you use as far as when you're creating things like that, software and things?
This company was app called Procreate, kind of a weird name for an app, but it's a drawing app, and it's kind of like Illustrator, and I use my little Apple Pencil that comes with it, and it's just a great tool to use to get the best finished product that you're looking for.
Nice. So
Yeah.
do you use like a pen and paper to
Yeah.
sketch things?
Once in a while. I used to do it a lot before I started coloring stuff. I used to just draw on a pen with pen and paper, pencil and paper. And I would get intimidated. Once it was done, the line work was done, I would get intimidated. I was like, I don't want to ruin it with painting it. And then I just kept practicing the colors, and eventually I got better at it. And here we are again.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So basically everything is now is just off of the iPad.
Yeah.
And the iPad Pro, I'm assuming
Yeah.
you have that
pretty big.
massive,
Yeah.
tablet.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's also, say you wanted me to draw like this. I would do it for you first on the iPad, send it over for your approval, and if you need any changes, it's super easy to just go in there and fix them instead of erasing it and redoing it. So it's honestly the greatest. I love it.
Yeah. So you prefer the digital portion now than the regular old school pen and paper thing.
Much better, yeah.
So it's like you said, we talked earlier. Like you said, undo is your favorite favorite keys. You know, the favorite motion and the keyboard.
Yeah.
So so that it kind of makes sense. So you would sketch it on the iPad, and then you would just how would you?
Yes. So I could take with the app, you can take pictures, and then you can upload that picture right into it and draw right over that picture, which I've done numerous times. Like Tacoholics, they had this in Manasquan. They have a storefront right on the beach. So it's literally just like a counter. So I took a picture of the counter and I just drew on it to see how it would look. And you can't even tell it's not a painting yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So I sent it over to them, and because they can see how it looks if I don't take a picture of where it's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better to see how it's actually going to look when someone's at the actual store.
Yes.
Or like on a skateboard, how it's actually going to look on a skateboard. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. It's just like a real life mock-up.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know. So yeah, it's true. Everyone, if you give them like a flat piece of artwork, you know, it's like this is gonna be nice. You know, on that table. You know, it's
You just gotta
they
visualize it.
some people don't. They need to see the
Yeah.
actual thing. You know, and that's what's great about technology now. You can do that.
Yeah.
Before, like people I don't
know how it's gonna look.
Exactly. You go there, you do it. You know what they said? I don't like it.
Yeah.
So you got to start all over again.
Yeah. And that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks.
It does.
It sucks. You're almost halfway there. They come in. It's like, redo it. I don't like it.
Yeah. That's happened before. It's not fun, but it's part of the.
It's
part of it.
Exactly.
Not everyone's gonna be in the same wavelength as you.
Yes.
You know.
Definitely.
Look, I just had this place called Wang Orthopedics reached out to me, and they had a raffle for I guess they had coloring books for their patients, and it's like a kids orthopedic. They had coloring books, and they had a contest, and a piece of my artwork was one of the winners, and they reached out, and I would do a custom piece for them. Looking back, I would just give them a painting, and that'd be what you win.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like I sent it to the lady, a picture that she wanted. She wanted her 7-year-old one. She wanted dancing unicorns with hip hop theme. And I was like, damn, what the hell? And I was like, all right, yeah. And like that whole process was kind of a pain in the ass because she doesn't know my stuff yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm new to her. She didn't have Instagram, so she didn't know like the process. You know what I mean? So when I sent her something, I was like, it wasn't finished yet. I was like, do you like how these characters look? She's like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. It was a pain in the ass. I'm like, I wish you would like checked out my stuff.
Yes.
Like I sent her some pictures, but yeah, some people were just like, I don't know, and they don't trust you yet.
Yeah.
So you give them that finished product, and they're like, okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah. Oh man, that's how the our industry is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're never sure what the client is gonna be like. You know.
Exactly.
It's like they should do the research, like we should do the research on them. You know what they like. But sometimes it doesn't go that way.
And another quick story, but for Talkaholics, the first one I did with the skeleton guy, as I'm doing it, like, the process of getting from start to finish is a pain in the ass, like, because you know how it's going to look in your head, but they don't know how it's going to look, because they're not in your head. So, like, they're watching me paint, and they're like, I don't know about this. I'm like, just trust me, like, it's not even close to being done. It's, you just gotta trust me, and, like, I'm not gonna give you something that's shit, you know what I mean? Like, I would never, if I don't like it, I'll start over. Like, I'm never gonna just give you something that just sucks.
Right.
Like, I take pride in my stuff, as you can see, and you just gotta trust me. You know what I mean?
It's true. You know, it reminds me of just like tattoo artists.
Yeah.
You know, when you're getting ink done, you know, all you see is these black Sharpies, red Sharpies, and stuff like that. And you're looking at it as like you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But at the finished product,
it's amazing.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fire.
Those guys. Those guys are, to me, tattoo artists are the best artists in the world. They are so incredible.
Oh yeah.
What they can do with a needle.
Oh gosh.
Jesus.
You know, the shading.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy how they work, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's how all artists are. Yeah. That's how we are.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's a skill level that we learned when we were younger.
Yeah.
And that's what we love.
Yeah.
It's our passion.
It is.
You know. And look, it just turns out, you know, you love what you do while making money.
Yeah.
While doing it, you know, it's like not a lot of people out there, you know, you see their faces, you know, they look like they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't want to be here. Do what you love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know.
Everyone always says it, like, do what you love. You never work a day in your life.
Exactly. And the best, you gotta be happy.
Yeah.
You gotta be happy about it.
Exactly.
You know, do what you love.
You gotta keep grinding.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Just keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Where can we find you on social media?
J Gordon, GORDON _illustrations on Instagram, and no Facebook and Twitter, just straight up Instagram.
Straight up Instagram, and can we see some of your pieces? Or will they be for sale at a?
Yes, I also have an Etsy shop.
Okay.
The link is in my bio.
Sweet.
I have these art prints are up there. A couple Halloween masks. And these three right here.
Yeah, well, let's get the Halloween mask right here, Jim. Go ahead. There we go. Show them bad boys.
So we got one jack-o'-lantern. This is all done on the iPad. Sent it over to this
wow.
This guy's name's Rad Cakes, and he does all. He's at a Manasquan, New Jersey, and he does all printing stuff, like on T-shirts and fabrics and all types of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he does great
work.
Very cool. This is Winifred Sanderson from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, nice.
And this is a mummy. So, I was when I was doing these, I was thinking like, people can use these to put together like an outfit, like a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Like you want to be Winifred Sanderson, wear the mask and just have the wig on.
The wig, that's awesome, man.
So yeah, these are also on my Instagram, and I'm putting them on my Etsy shop. I'm getting more printed for little kids.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, well, while we're talking about masks, you know, I have some on the list, but let's talk about the whole quarantine COVID thing. You know, how, you know, it's been, what, how many months already? 6 months?
6 months.
6 months since COVID hit.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long time. Like, in the beginning, how did you like cope with everything had to be quarantined? Everyone was getting sick. Was it scary for you?
Yeah.
You know, you kept yourself busy. How did that happen? Like, you know, with you and your wife and stuff like that. How did you guys keep busy?
Well, it was scary in the beginning for everybody. It's still scary. It's still out there. It's still going on. But in the beginning, it was like really, really scary. Like, you thought the minute you came in contact with somebody, you're getting that shit. But being out of work, not being able to go to work, and like everything shut down, it just gave me freedom I had to keep myself busy somehow, and this is an escape for me. So I just got to work. It was kind of a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? It gave me a lot of free time to just do what I wanted to do, and just do it. Every time I do something, I post it, get a nice following going. People want some stuff. That's about it.
That's
Yeah.
it, man. It's like you know, you can't stop the hustle.
Yeah.
You can't stop the hustle. You're doing your thing. Nothing is gonna stop you from what you love. You know, like this.
Yeah.
And the whole COVID thing, quarantine thing. It's not gonna stop you.
No.
You know, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about, you know, what you do, man.
Yeah.
You know, for us creatives and all that stuff, what we do is awesome. And we never stop.
Yeah.
We never stop thinking.
Exactly.
We're always moving.
Yeah. Like when I'll be watching like a Disney movie or something with my wife, and like she was watching Frozen. She's like a little kid. She's watching Frozen, and the whole time I'm watching it, I'm looking at the artwork aspect of it. I'm like, this movie's okay, but like the graphics and the animation is just incredible. You know what I mean? So I'm always looking at artwork. Like yesterday, we went to Walmart, and there was this little kid Halloween T-shirt with a hand on it coming out, like a zombie hand. And I was like, that's one of the coolest hands I've ever seen in my life. And she's like, we're in Walmart. I took a picture of it. I was like, I wanted to just stare at this the whole time. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, your mind is always moving. Inspiration is around you everywhere. Everywhere.
Like I go to the beach, I'm like, how can I draw those waves?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm always thinking about artwork, in one form or another.
It's true, man. The colors, everything. Yeah. I mean, you never know what you're gonna see, and that's why our minds keep moving. Your mind keeps moving. You just keep creating. You're creating awesome stuff, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, do not stop, please, because your work is fire.
Thank you.
Fire, man.
Yeah, I won't stop.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
All right, sweet. So all right. I think that's all I got, man.
Cool.
I think this is an awesome interview, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
For coming down,
Yeah.
and showing your art. And man, you gotta check Justin out, man. Plug it again. What's your
JGordon_illustrations on Instagram.
That's it, man. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're gonna see. It's gonna be. I'm gonna put it on YouTube. The interview's gonna be on YouTube. Cool. And I'll tag you in it. And issue 2 of Lee Vandals magazine will be dropping December 2nd.
Cool.
So I'm gonna get everything ready, all that stuff, and man, it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Looking forward to it.
And let's end this year with a nice positive positive feel. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And that's it. All right.
So you gotta do is clap when it turns off.
That's more for just to sync out.
Okay.
Sweet. That's it. All right. Very cool. That was awesome.